How's it hanging, YouTube? It's Peter here, your Ginger Jory Geek. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight we're doing What You're Watching. So we've got loads of TV programs and movies to get through. So we'll crack straight on. I've got an expert panel to join us tonight. I'm going to start off with my main man because I haven't seen him for a little while, and that's Efren. How are you doing, Efren?
Hey, Peter. Yeah, I miss seeing you, man.
And it feels like ages since we've seen each other. But how are you doing? Are you well?
I'm doing well. Yes, as usual. A little bit cold in the morning, but the sun's out right now, so I'm enjoying it. I always got to rub it in.
It'll be baking over there. In the UK, we've got storms and weather warnings and torrential rain, and it's bloody horrible. I'm liking the Galactus behind you there as usual. Everyone's looking very good. I like that.
Had to show it off.
Nice. Yeah. Okie dokie, mate. So next we'll bring on my good friend James T. How you doing, James?
Heyo, what's up?
Heyo. Well, not much at the moment, but how are you? Are you well?
I'm good. We just recovering from a very fun weekend that we had together, so that was good.
Yeah, so myself, James, Ben, and Simon all went to Liverpool Comic Con, which was an interesting experience. I'll be doing a little video about that at some point. But overall, not a bad con. I think the organisation had a few issues. Would you agree, James?
Absolutely. Yeah, 3 hours for an autograph is a disgrace.
Yeah, taking the mick a little bit, isn't it? But we had a nice time. It was nice to catch up with everybody. And somebody else that joined me when we were down there was Simon.
Hi.
How are you doing, Simon? Are you well?
I'm all right, man. Yeah, I'm good.
And I was mentioning before we came on air there, that's a tremendous T-shirt you've got on there. That's one of my favourite versions of Thor.
I'll show you.
Yeah, look at that chest. That's I'm talking about Thor, not you, Sam. That's not one of my favourite versions of Thor. I think that costume in particular has got enough classical influences, but I think it looks tremendous.
Yeah.
So, how are you doing, Simon? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm really well, man. Yeah, it was good to see you in Liverpool, and yeah.
A few drinks were had and it was a good laugh. But unfortunately, someone that's not well is our favourite attention-seeking geek, Ben. Sadly, Ben wasn't feeling very well at the weekend and it's continued through, so he's unfortunately had to miss tonight. I know a few of his views on some of the things, but he might join in the chat, so I'm sure he'll chip in where he can there. But Ben, we'll hope you get well soon. Yep. And the same for Jason Parker. Jason was going to be joining us tonight, but unfortunately, he's not feeling too well either. So again, Jason, hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Okay, before we start, we'll just quickly jump to the comments and see who we've got. And we've got good old streamer. Is this joke getting old now? Or should we keep doing this every time?
There's no turning back. There's no turning back. It is our running gag.
Yeah, we'll keep
and a running gag has to run.
And we've got JP Venom. Good old Pete. Nice to see you, mate. Peter, we need to get you back on stream. We haven't had you on one of our streams for a while. Drop us a message and let us know if you want to join one. We've got Connie. It's nice to see you, Connie. Thank you very much for joining. We have got Ben, still hanging in the chat, so best behaviour. Good man, Ben. We've got Phil. I haven't watched any of the shows he's listed. No, you're not, Phil. You're not. Really looking forward to this week. I'm going to be joining Phil on Wednesday on the Nerd Herd to talk about one of my favourite books, Stray Dogs. So looking forward to that. You guys read Stray Dogs?
Yeah, love it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, great story.
It's amazing. So looking forward to that. Well, Liz, thank you very much.
Yes. So that was I was in the queue with this guy. Yeah. So
is this the man who you ate his pizza?
No.
No.
I was offered pizza by Thor.
Someone offered James random pizza. I mean, that's a story in itself, James. But yeah. You enjoyed your pizza, which is nice. Yeah, it was horrendous, mate. And like we've said, a long time to queue for that. So not the best organisation at the weekend, I'm afraid. We've got Ed. Thanks for joining, Ed. Thank you very much, mate. We've got White Shadow. White Shadow, I think you're new to my channel. I'm not sure I've seen you in the chat before, so welcome, mate. Thank you very much for joining. We've got Andy from Perpetual Comics showing banana shots. So that's a little thing that we had at Thought Bubble a few weeks ago, which was absolutely vile, but never mind. Not Andy, the shots were vile. Okay, so moving on, guys, because we've got lots to get through, lots of TV and movies to talk about. And this month we're going to be touching on Andor, Black Panther, a little bit of Doctor Who, and some other bits and bobs. It's worth saying there are going to be spoilers, and I'll mention that in a second. Oh, I've put that away. So before we start with a show that's going to be talking about TV and entertainment, I felt it was quite appropriate to talk about this guy. So this is Jason David Frank, the Green Power Ranger or White Power Ranger that most of you will recognize, who unfortunately passed away recently. You guys big Power Ranger fans?
Myself, not really. No.
Yeah,
I was
I
as
think
a kid,
Never really watched it myself.
Yeah, I think I'm the same as you, Efren. It kind of passed me by, but I am aware of the massive cultural importance it's got now, and there are some huge fans out there. And this is a tragic kind of story for people to have heard over the weekend. And sadly, I don't know the detail, but my understanding is that Jason committed suicide, which is an awful, obviously awful thing for to have happened. So
he
yeah,
he was only 49, wasn't he? Or
yeah,
something?
late 40s, and I mean, I saw he did a CGC signing recently, and they streamed it live, and he was talking to the fans and things live, and he came across as an absolutely incredible guy.
I used to see
at a
him.
few conventions I've been to, and I know he was a guy who loved his fans just based on the community kind of response to this.
I think, from what I understand, he had a very successful kind of martial arts business going as well. I think I'm not sure how true that is, but if anybody knows in the chat, let us know. Just to say, we've got Efren's daughter in the chat. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. So Jason, it was obviously devastating. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. Like I said, unfortunately, from what I understand, it was a suicide. And there's lots of comments and lots of things rightfully being said about, if you are suffering from depression, or if you've got, negative thoughts or unhappy thoughts and things like that, please do reach out and speak to people. But I don't think that that's always a strong enough message. I think sometimes if you're in that kind of place yourself, perhaps you don't want to reach out. So what I would just encourage people to do is, if you've got friends, if you've got people who are struggling, just ask them how they are. Just you make that effort. Don't expect them to come to you. So please do reach out and support one another, because any loss of life is tragic. Okay, sorry, bit of a negative way to start on the stream, but I think it's an important message to put out there. And I know there's lots of people in the comments are making comment about how important he was to them. So Connie, is making comments, and I know Ben. He's a big hero of yours. So yeah, very, very sad. Okay, guys. So on with the show. Like I say, lots to talk about tonight. It goes without saying there are going to be spoilers. We are going to touch on shows that you might not have seen. So stick your fingers in your ears if you don't want to hear any spoilers. We will try and keep it as spoiler-free as we possibly can. But let's try and crack through. Now, Andor. So the last show we did, it feels like such a long time ago. The last show we did, we talked briefly about Andor, and I hadn't seen any of it at that point. I know, Efren, I think you'd seen some of it. Is that right?
The last issue I seen was just a couple of days ago, when he gets in that high-tech jail, and he's put to work. So that's where I'm at. I think I'm about an episode or two behind.
So have you seen the end of that episode when they make the spoilers, the escape?
No, I know they're going to escape, but that's a given, But no, I haven't seen that episode yet.
Okay. James, you've not seen any yet. Simon, have you seen any?
I've watched the first episode.
Yeah. Is the next? There's going to be another episode. Is that next week, or is it?
Yeah. I think so.
Is it this Thursday? I think they come out with.
Might be this Thursday. Yeah, it's not finished yet. The season's not done yet. I hadn't seen any. I know Ben was a fan. Ben was saying that it was a kind of a 1 in 3 episode was good, or very good. Sorry, Jason. I'm just going to put this on screen. Jason had this to say about it.
Been a bit of a slow burn.
Let me give you the definition of a slow burn definition of slow burn as per the Urban Dictionary. A fart, typically of the hot, silent kind, which takes a significantly longer time to dissipate in a room. As in, better take your time going in that room, it's a slow burn. And that's my summary, really, of this new Power War series.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't go back as Jason.
Gets me every time.
That man has a way with words, I swear.
So since then, I've watched it. I've caught up with the entire series, and I have to say, it's one of my favorite Star Wars series so far. I know there's a lot of criticism about how slow it is, about it, excuse me, being a bit boring and things like that at times, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And this episode, Efren, you're going to have to get on because this episode is amazing. The performances are phenomenal. And I forget his name. Is it Andy Serkis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is incredible in it. And also the other gent there, I can't remember his name. Skarsgård?
Yeah, he was in Thor.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah. He does a speech halfway through the episode about what, kind of what he's given for the rebellion, and it's absolutely spine-tingling. It's an amazing series. So, highly recommend people go and check that out. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm up to date now. There's an amazing space battle in the last episode.
My favorite ship now.
Oh yeah, love that ship.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that, Simon. It kind of came from nowhere as well.
Yeah, I didn't expect that, and then I delved into that ship and read more about it and where it was made and created and things like that. It's made in the same place, Millennium Falcon. It's on the same sort of line as the Millennium Falcon, and it's built in this like freighter shipyard planet.
Yeah,
and it's been obviously modded and upgraded, but wow, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away for people who haven't seen it, but you've got to go and see that last few episodes. Ben's seen there. Episode 10 is up there. Some of the most moving bits of stuff. Agree, Ben. Absolutely agree. And again, guys, even just the last, I mean, if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. That last kind of scene where they're trying to make their escape. It's just, it's heartbreaking. Very, very good. White Shadow, a view Ando's being SS Star Wars, all grown up. For those of us who grew up with Ando, it's a story of a show. Yeah, I agree, mate. And one of the things that I commented on, and I'll probably get hate for this, is that it's a bit Star Trek for me. It's more of a slow burn. It's character driven. It's quite political at times. I love it. And White Shadow's in the ship is badass as well. Completely agree. Louise, I'm in the minority with Ando, as I've been fairly underwhelmed by most of it. I think it's important to remember that not everyone will like all Star Wars, so I can live with not massively enjoying it. That's an incredibly important comment to make. So we've been doing, TV and movie reviews for probably about a year now, mainly between us guys. And it's fair to say we've not always agreed on everything that we've had on screen, but I think that's the joy of it. We can have those conversations and we'll have those debates without going in a huff and without storming off and all the rest of it. It's an acknowledgement that we all like different things. Me and Efren, for example, we're big Trekkies. We like Star Trek.
I'm a big anime geek.
Yeah, you're the anime geek. So I think you're right. You're allowed to like and not like other stuff. Last comment before we move on. Some of it's been a bit slow, but the last two episodes have been absolutely epic. Completely agree, Ed. Efren, we'd agree more, but you're always wrong. Very true, Ben. Very true. Efren, anything you want to add about Andor?
I like that sometimes you don't. If this was a movie, we wouldn't have the backstory of all these characters. See how their growth. How the main character, how he became a rebel, which I like. I like backstories. The history. I know there's a lot of episodes. I think it's going to be 2 parts after this. The last episodes, there's going to be another set of episodes too of Andor. I'm curious to see how they go forward with this character. But I got to watch the last episode now that you're telling me about the fight. And the escape scene.
Yeah, it really is. It's a beautiful episode. Simon, you a fan?
Oh yeah, definitely. I love it. I love side characters and I love like that concept. I mean, I've got the comic Dr. Aphra, and she's like to me a side character, and I really love those comics and those sort of characters. And I actually think this is better than Boba Fett, definitely. So, because Boba Fett to me didn't get really good till Mandalorian came in.
Go on, Peter. Say it. Oh, that's not a very high bar, is it?
White Shadow is making a similar comment there, saying he wasn't a fan of Boba Fett. Felt Obi-Wan was okay, not earth-shattering, and we've all got our own taste and things. I completely agree, and like I said, we had some. How can I put it? We had some interesting discussions about Boba Fett because some were fans, some weren't fans, and I think that's fair enough. We are allowed to not like stuff, and I think also you've got to take the blinkers off. And I would say my fanboy blinkers are well and truly off with Marvel at the moment. So I've gone past now the fact of fighting and defending it just because it's Marvel to actually start to open my eyes a little bit and say, actually, that's not a good show. And I think that's what people have come to realize with Star Wars as well. It's great that we've got this content, and I would always fight to have more content. But just because we're Star Wars fans doesn't mean we've got to like everything that is Star Wars. We're allowed to say that wasn't the best, like Boba the Fett, which was shit. Okay, so moving on. James, you've only seen one episode of it, so I know you've got lots to catch up, yeah?
Yeah, I will. I don't know. I've just not been in a big Star Warsy mood. But I love the first episode, and I really like the style and the tone it's going for. Like people are saying, it's a more adult kind of Star Wars story. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till the last episode's out, and I'll just binge the whole thing in one go.
Gonna blast the full season.
Yeah, do it. It's worth it binging.
One more thing, Simon mentioned Dr. Afra. I hope she comes out in a movie or a TV show. I really like that character a lot.
I would put money on it that it will happen eventually.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, moving on from Andor. Unless anybody's got anything else they want to add? No?
Nope.
Marvellous. I just popped this up because this is an interesting little one that me and James, in between drinks, went to see at the weekend. And this is called The Menu. Any of you guys heard of this or seen it other than James?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Interested in the chat if
yeah.
anybody's heard of it or seen it. James, talk to her about this a little bit. Tell her what this is all about.
Yeah, so the setup is Ray Fiennes plays this kind of Gordon Ramsay-esque like a leash chef who offers this kind of premium dining experience where people go to an island and they have this kind of set menu. And it's sort of like you would think it was a horror movie, but it's sort of more of a black comedy, and just kind of the night kind of escalates, and it's like this kind of chef almost psychotically trying to craft the perfect like dining experience in like a weird way. But it's just had so much charm to it that I really wasn't expecting. There's some really amazing performances. I think Nicholas Hoult in particular was a standout for me. Anya Taylor-Joy, phenomenal as always. It's just like a thoroughly fun movie, breezy movie. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
So this totally took me by surprise. This was pretty much a kind of a just to kill some time, really, wasn't it, James?
Yeah.
I wouldn't
wait
have
for Ben
seen
to
this.
get off the train.
Yeah. I wouldn't have seen this, I don't think, unless I had time to kill. Totally took me by surprise. I put it on here just as a recommendation for people to go and watch. It was really funny, but dark and kind of unnervingly funny at times. If you like kind of dark comedy and great build-up, it's well worth going to see. Excellent film and some like James says, some amazing performances. So yeah, want to recommend. Go and check that one out. Okie dokie, the main show, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Before we move on, can I just check? Simon, I know you haven't seen it.
Nope.
Ephraim?
Been wanting to, but not
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yep.
Good stuff. So guys, this is a bit of an interesting one. I'm not sure where we're going to land. So I'm going to start with you, Ephraim, because I think I know where James is at. Just give us your overall thoughts on Wakanda Forever.
I thought it was a good movie overall. I mean, I think everybody knew that Shuri was going to be the Black Panther. I mean, she wasn't a comic book; she became Black Panther for a while. I thought the director, the whole movie, they were put in a difficult way because of the passing of the actor. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed something I like looking at the culture of Wakanda, and now the culture of Namor's people too. The Aztec take of Namor. So overall, I give it about a 7 or 8. I thought it was a little bit too long, and but I thought, I didn't like the way Namor was killing all the Wakandans, his people. There were hardly any Wakandans left on that ship at the end. I was like, dang, man, he's obliterating everybody. That's what I didn't like about it. But overall, like I said, I give it about an 8 or 10. The scenes of the movie, the Wakanda and the underground, I thought it was the way they did it, I thought was very well done. Yeah.
Did you like it more than Black Panther 1?
No, I like Black Panther 1 a lot more.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. 8 out of 10, I think, is still a reasonable score, but I think that's still a pretty high level score. James, what did you think?
I really liked it. I think it's got its problems. I agree with Efren 100%. It's too long. It's about, you could cut 20 minutes. There's definitely two kind of side stories, the Everett Ross stuff and maybe the Riri stuff. You could have pulled one of them out, and I think the movie still would have worked. But it's I think a really nice tribute to Chadwick Boseman and a good exploration of loss. Like tonally, this isn't really a MCU. It doesn't feel like an MCU movie. It's almost more akin to like maybe Eternals is probably the closest. Like it's a bit more self-reflective, but not in a bad way necessarily. I loved Namor in it. I thought that was a great interpretation of that and distinguished him from Aquaman quite well. I like that he's kind of unrepentant by the end of the movie. He doesn't. There's not this kind of predictable, oh, I see the error of my ways thing. Yeah. You know, he just loses and you know, just to try again another day. Some amazing performances. I think the cast definitely. Angela Bassett has this kind of speech. You hear some of it in the trailer. That was
did we? Sorry to interrupt you, James. Did we hear too much of it in the trailer? Because for me, it kind of that speech was so moving and so powerful.
Yeah,
I wish I hadn't heard it previously.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think the context of it in the movie where it's kind of with Okoye, you know, like that was quite heart-wrenching as well. And you know, Letitia Wright, some issues in real life, but I think was stellar performance and really amazing in this. You know, credit where credit's due. So yeah, I think I probably like the first one more, but I think it's a good movie. Good. It's up on the for this phase, certainly at the higher level of it. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think out of this phase, it probably is one of the better movies, certainly better than Thor, in my humble opinion. I've seen this twice now. I saw it first time with Ben, and I know Ben wasn't blown away by it. I think he's put a comment, which I'll come back in a minute. I saw it a second time with my family, and my family said it was okay. It didn't blow them away. I enjoyed it. I think more the first time. I thought some of the battle scenes were tremendous. I thought the Wakanda scene where Atlantis attacks Wakanda was phenomenal. Absolutely loved that. But I do think I agree with you, James. I think it's got some issues. I loved the tributes. I thought the way they handled Chadwick's passing was absolutely incredible. I thought that was really well done and very emotionally done. You could have heard a pin drop in the cinema when those bits were on for me. Namor, very, very good in the movie. I would say I wanted him to be more of a dick. I wanted him to be more of a
I think arrogant, sufficiently a dick.
See, in the comics, Namor is supposed to be an absolute, arrogant prick. And I would like a little bit more of that from him. I do think he was good, I have to say. I thought the final battle scene was absolutely amazing with him and Black Panther. I thought that was brilliant. Ironheart, I don't know why she was even in the movie. I don't know.
Because she's got a Disney Plus series and we have to introduce her somewhere. She doesn't really fit into this. And I don't know why I just didn't.
Did she need to be in?
No, not at all. Well, she's sort of the MacGuffin of the movie.
I would have preferred Storm to be in.
Yeah,
I've heard some of the storyline, and I would have preferred Storm to be in.
Yeah, the whole story is Namor is trying to find. She builds this vibranium detecting device, and Namor wants to kill her to prevent them finding it. So, so she's important, but you could have swapped her out with another thing or another person, and the story would work absolutely fine.
What do you think? I'm coming to you first, Simon, because you've not seen the film yet. What do you think of that Ironheart design?
I don't like it. It just looks. I don't know. It just looks chunky, doesn't it? Compared to what other Iron Man sort of concepts, and I get it, but to me, it just doesn't look right. When I saw the figure come out for it, I was like, oh, that I definitely wouldn't want that figure. So.
It does nothing for me. Efren, what do you think?
I didn't like her outfit. It almost looks like a transformer to me. you know, and I mean, I like the character in the comic books. Hopefully they'll do a better job of her. Like I said, I know they had to put her in a movie, but it just almost seems, you know, like James says, like a little bit forced, you know, but they had to introduce her some way. But I didn't like her in the comic books when she first built her Iron Man outfit. It looked more like Iron Man.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that this had looked a little bit more like Iron Man. Like, what's the name of the Iron Man's wife when she came out in the last
Rescue?
movie? Yeah, Rescue. Almost, I was kind of hoping it would kind of look something like that, but I'm sure you know, they wouldn't go that way.
Yeah, for me, she looks a bit like there should be 50 of her. You know, like she's not distinct. Like she doesn't look like a main hero. She looks like an army builder character.
Absolutely.
Like one of those Japanese like sort of Kamen Rider sort of characters.
Yeah. And I guess I get irritated, and I think I said this to Ben when we came out. I get irritated with the fact that there's so many people able to just quickly knock up an Iron Man costume now. It's not special anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take them long to produce that, did they? You know?
To be fair, in Iron Man 2, Tony Stark says people are 10 years away from developing anything close to this. So, like, we're caught up to that now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you can kind of throw it away that way, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess overall for me, decent. Didn't blow us away, but better than some of the previous. I'd probably score around a 7 out of 10 for me. What about you,
same.
James?
Yeah, 7. I think 7.5
7.
maybe at a stretch. Yeah.
So
one thing before we move on, could have used some more like wider universe stuff. Like there was like a leak before this that Doctor Doom was behind a certain scene in the movie and that he'd show up in the post credits. And I think this movie could have used that to end it on a big high. And I know we shouldn't have to get one of those things, but like I think it would have been nice.
So speaking of the ending it on a high, I didn't like it. I thought they did a tremendous job of acknowledging Chadwick's kind of, you know, impact. I thought they did a great job of setting up, you know, a female Black Panther. The end scene with the little boy just felt, I know why they've done it, but it felt unnecessary. It felt to me like they'd undone all the work they'd just done throughout the movie of setting up a female Black Panther.
Simon, are you aware of what the post-credit scene of this is?
It's Black Panther's son, isn't it?
Yeah. So they've effectively, he has I think at this stage 7 or so year old son named T'Challa. So they've just made the character again. So presumably to either they'll wait 10 years and have him be Black Panther, or they'll age him up with Kang or something like that. That's more likely.
And then he can get with Storm.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. But yeah, it's I think it's kind of clever, I guess. But I'm curious how they'll go forward with that, and you know that the fact that there's been this big thing for the last 7 years that we didn't know about also feels a bit cheap.
Yeah.
I noticed that during the movie, Namor said he was a mutant too.
Yeah.
It did just straight out. Yeah, I'm a mutant. You know, love it.
And I'm sounding negative, I'm sure, but I have to say there were some good points. And I came out on my initial view, and I came out quite pleased with the movie. I thought some of the battles were really, really well done. I loved the flooding of Wakanda. I thought that was amazing, and I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting the end of that big battle to be what it was, because I don't think that had been hinted out too much.
I knew that going in, unfortunately.
Did you? Great stuff. Okay, guys, I'm just going to quickly jump into the chat and see where we're up to. Pete, GP Ben is mentioning What We Do in the Shadows. I absolutely love that show, mate.
It's great.
Ben's commenting, yeah, we'll have to do a show about. Happy to talk about that. And Ben's shouting,
so funny.
Yeah, I love it. Superb Owl Party. That's my favorite, I think. Anyway, but yeah, love that show. So yeah, we'll go and see that. Sorry, we'll do something about that in the future, I think. Pete, Ironheart had absolutely no impact in the movie whatsoever. I agree. And again, being a miserable old bugger, I mentioned there about the ability to knock up an Iron Man suit. It goes even beyond that. How do you go from being a kid at school to designing a costume to all of a sudden being an expert fighter and being able to do all these fancy moves and stuff? She's never. Anyway, moving on. Ben, the film always had the impossible task of matching the cultural impact of the first. Very true. And the first really felt like a celebration of life, whereas this really was an exploration of growth. Ben's very articulate tonight. I like that. Yeah. Very true, Ben. I like that.
Same comments more often.
Yeah. White Shadow's agreeing. Overall, he liked it. He's saying here, good movie. To move past. I agree. Well, yeah, I'm being negative. It was a good movie. You're right. Evening, Matthew. Nice to see you. Big stack. Average 6 out of 10. Yeah. Someone agreeing with Ben. Doesn't happen very often, so I put it on screen. We've got Paul. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you very much. I will get around to doing your top 5 things that I love in my collection, mate. I'll get onto that, Chris. Thanks very much. Ben, ultimately, sure he isn't as likable. Yeah, and that's one of my problems with it. I don't know if it's just what she's said outside of the Black Panther franchise or what, but yeah, I struggle with her a bit, I have to say. Huge bug factor that stopped me enjoying it as much as I could. Namor was not as arrogant as I would have liked either. I totally agree with that. I like the arrogant thing. Riri and Ross stuff could have been dramatically cut too. Great. See if there's anything else.
I think the character M'Baku, he had a bigger role in this movie, and he's really good. I really enjoyed.
I really wanted him to be Black Panther, and
yeah, me too.
I think we'll see him in a kind of Black Panther-esque, so maybe like he's a gorilla, isn't he? White gorilla or something. We'll see that maybe in the next one.
Ben's just saying there, Kang will age up the kid in Secret Wars, calling it now. I think you're right, Ben. Ben likes to do this. He likes to call up things and say that he's kind of marking wrong.
Almost always wrong.
Almost always wrong.
I think it's a bit soon, though, isn't it? I think they'll give this time to breathe.
What Ben should do is go back and watch the last of these shows, because I called something regarding the finale to Secret Wars, and he told us I was absolutely wrong. And I turned out to be absolutely right, which is who the big bad was, who the big baddie was in the end. So Ben did say live on air that would give you some kind of challenge for getting it wrong. So I'll come back to you on that one, and I'll let you know what we want you to do on the next show. Maybe he's do it naked or something like that. We'll decide on something. Okie dokie. Right, guys. So anything else to say on Wakanda Forever? Nope. Fab. Moving on. Simon. Now, Simon.
Yeah.
I'm full of trepidation here. All right.
Okay.
Because normally when you send us images and things like that, like on the toy show, we'll put an image up and you'll not know what it is. So you've identified both of these shows. So I'm literally leaving it to you to talk about, mate. I know nothing about them.
Well,
so you have the mic.
Okay. So 1899, I have binge watched the weekend we come back from Liverpool, and I absolutely love it. Yeah. So it's from the creators of The Dark. So it is slightly dubbed, but the dub, in areas the English words don't match up with the lips in some places, but it gets better along the way. It's a sort of really thought out sort of sci-fi movie. So it's set obviously in the 1800s, and all the characters, and you get to know all the characters, and it's on this old cruise ship, and it's sort of dark and eerie, and things are happening, and they've been told that this other cruise ship has gone lost, the Prometheus, and they just come across it by accident. So then the captain decides to go over to the Prometheus to see what happened to they know this Prometheus ship has been missing for the past 4 months, and the whole crew's just vanished on the Prometheus.
Okay.
And so it gives that eerie style. Oh, what happened to the crew? Where are they? And so the captain and his crewmen go over there with the sort of main character woman who's a doctor. And I won't spoil it, but then from there it gets a bit wild and sort of.
So is it sci-fi or is it horror?
A bit of both.
Okay.
It's not like a mystery thriller kind of thing.
I'm not spoiling it. You've got to watch it. It
sounds intriguing. So
it is
interested if anybody in the comments has seen this. Drop us a comment to see if you like it or not. Efren, you seen this one?
No. What network is it on?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah. On Netflix. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And the one before it, The Dark, that's an incredible show as well, from the creators of The Dark. It's sort of like a sort of time sort of one that is really split between 3 multiverses, and that's a multiversal one. This one's sort of along the same lines. It's sci-fi in the same sort of concept, but it's really, really good. These creators are so amazing.
You say
Sounds
it's
interesting.
dubbed?
Yeah, so it's I'm just trying to find out. So it's
Because
German.
I never watched dubs, so like I can watch
but
this in German with subtitles.
dubbed is really good. That sometimes you don't even notice it. Do you know what I mean? There's been 1 or 2 times I've thought, oh Jesus, I can notice it, but then you get really used to this one where the dub's that good. So yeah.
Oh, and what about Treason? Because that's Charlie Cox, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's Charlie Cox. Now, I've only seen this posted today, Peter, so I don't know anything about it, apart from it's the writer of Bridge of Spies, as you got there. But the reason I posted it, because it looks quite interesting, and I think it's the only thing I've seen Charlie Cox in, apart from Daredevil.
Ever seen Stardust?
Yeah, but that was ages ago. That was ages ago.
No,
Since
but
Daredevil,
I think you're right, Simon. I haven't seen him in a lot of shows actually. So.
No.
And he's a great actor.
He's in an Irish show called Kin.
Okay.
Big show on TV here. Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
That's what he's been doing. But yeah, this looks interesting. So it's released on 26th.
Couple of interesting ones there, Simon. Thank you very much. Okay, this isn't the end of the show. I'm just putting some plugs in the middle of the show, so please don't switch off. But just a few things to mention. My usual shout out to all the UK comic community. We've got This Week in Metropolis. They're not on tomorrow. They're taking a week off, but they're back with their anniversary show next week, where I think a number of you are going to be on. So please do check that out. That's not tomorrow, but next Tuesday night. This Wednesday, Nerd Herd, as I already mentioned, 9:30, I'm going to be with the boys and we're going to be reviewing Stray Dogs. We've got the Killer Comics Show on Thursday at 9 o'clock, and they're going to be doing a bit of a thought bubble roundup, so that will be very entertaining, I'm sure. And then we've got the Grey Man's Show on Saturday, Cover Slingers, so that's live at 7 o'clock. So please do check out those live shows. Next week on my channel, on Monday, we've got What If Godzilla. Really looking forward to that one. Ben, I know, is super excited. He's already put his stuff, his videos in. I've not got my idea yet, but this time we're going to be joined by Simon. So Simon, you've hopefully got a cracking idea to show with.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Short and sweet.
No pressure, Simon.
No pressure.
So really looking forward to that. So that's next week.
It's the first What If I've done. So.
Maybe your first and last.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention this. This is a show we've got coming up in December. Well, I haven't got the date yet, but it's Hot Comics, Hot Sources. This is myself, James, Ben, and Jason Parker. We're going to each bring a comic-related or nerdy topic to talk about, and we've got 4 different hot sauces to try. So we're going to be soaking chicken nuggets or something in hot sauces.
You're going to take the ghost one? Like
yeah.
Is that from the ghost?
Ghost is number 3.
Yeah.
Scorpion is the hot one. The hottest.
Jesus, you guys are crazy.
Gosh.
They are the sauces that we're going to be using. These are Psycho Juice sauces. You can get that 4-pack on Amazon. I've put the link on my Instagram page. If anyone wants to buy some of the sauces and join along with we're on the night, so in the comments you can jump in and tell how you're feeling, what you're doing, send us some photos and things like that. We'll put you in on it. So it's going to be an interesting one. Going to be fun. Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have milk on the side, aren't you? Like down it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be rough, that one. So looking forward to that. If it goes well, guys, we'll expand it out and do it in future episodes, and we'll perhaps do it more often. I've opted for just the 4 of us to start with, just so there's 4 on screen and we can see how it goes. But if it goes well and nobody dies, we might try and do it in January and invite more people on. We'll see how it goes.
I'm going to take pictures of the screen for this one.
You're going to get some amazing screen grabs, I think.
Yeah.
There's some good YouTube shorts in there as well. So.
Ben is terrified. So, yeah, that's good. And thanks very much, Chris. It's going to be a car crash. I couldn't agree. Couldn't agree more, mate. Yeah, so it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to that one. Okay, before we move on, chaps, anything you want to talk about coming up on your channels? So, Ephraim, we'll start with yourself.
Real quick, that Wednesday show with Stray Dogs, what time is it going to be? Because I want to check that out.
That will be 9:30 UK time.
UK time. Okay. Cool.
over on the Nerd Herd. I'll send you the link, Efren.
Okay. Yeah, please do. I want to check that out. Yeah.
Good stuff. Anything on your channel coming up, mate?
I got some comic books that I want to show that I just been lazy doing YouTube videos. I've been doing a lot of YouTube shorts recently, well, not a lot, but 2 of them. I get a lot more views doing these YouTube shorts, which take like less than a minute.
Yeah, totally the same, mate.
Yeah.
We have got to catch up, Efren, and do part 2 of our favorite X-Men characters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we'll try and do that.
Yeah. That's fun. And we're gonna
doing
do.
I saw your last one. It was good.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff, mate.
Yep.
James, anything on your channel coming up?
I've been in a big Marvel game buzz lately for some reason, so I might do one on every upcoming Marvel game or something like that.
That would be good.
So that's one I've been ruminating for the last couple of days. So
Midnight Suns, that one.
I don't like XCOM. I never liked XCOM.
I know you keep saying that, but
Yeah.
I think me and Bede are going to get it because it looks.
Yeah, I'll get it. I love
It
XCOM.
does look cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Simon, I know you're working towards the start of your channel.
I am. I'm actually working on like the banner and fixing my channel first. And I was speaking to you at Thought Bubble, like the best ways to go about creating your first video, because obviously there's pressures in creating a video, and you said just do it,
Yeah.
and then if you mess it up, just you learn as you go along. So
Trust me, you'll get better as you go. My first video is abysmal, I think, compared to what I put out now.
You should all like have a show where you show your first videos, like clips of it, like when you first did it. Have you got all your first videos?
Yeah.
Ben doesn't. Ben's deleted.
Yeah.
The first 6 years of his channel.
Yeah.
Simon, take a look at my first videos. I don't even show my face.
Yeah.
I was too embarrassed. I didn't have any lighting. I didn't have a microphone.
Well, so the first thing I said was the hardest thing was like, what do you talk about on your first video? Because I'm into all sorts.
Your passion is,
but it's whatsoever you're passionate.
Yep.
So I mean, we've said this to you, but there's Chris Simon saying the same thing. Just get it done, mate. You're overthinking it. Banging out. Okie dokie. White Shadow Drats don't have the channels to sub up to. I'll put everybody's channel links in the description of this video, White Shadow. So I'll do that as soon as we're finished, mate. So you can check out the stuff then. Okay, guys, moving on. So season finale of House of the Dragon. What did you think? Who's seen it?
We've all seen it, I think.
Yeah,
Great.
What did you think of that last episode?
Oh, it's so good, isn't it? This show has just exceeded all expectations, and it's got that epic scale I missed from Game of Thrones. It's nice because I don't think we've actually gotten a chance to really talk spoilers at all on the show. It's amazing imagery, it's like phenomenal performances, and what it's setting up, with the we have this big war now we're coming into. This has all been prelude to the main event, so phenomenal.
Yeah, were you expecting that in? Because I haven't read any of the books, but were you expecting that final kind of battle? Efren, what did you think of it?
No, that totally caught me by surprise. What happened to this one character at the end? And no, that's like the point of no return. Even the bad guy, he knew that he messed up. But the expression on his face went, "Oh, I messed up big time." So, and the two main characters, the two females. I mean, I like when they first came out in the first 2 episodes, they were like best friends.
Yeah.
And just how they evolved, getting farther and farther away. And it was just, I can't wait for season 2. I know it's probably going to be years before season 2.
2 years, I think that's up.
But again, the way they do the effects with these dragons, they look so dang real.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good series,
I just like the imagery of like Vhagar, this like monstrosity of a dinosaur, the biggest living dragon at the time, with like Lucerys's tiny little one flapping underneath it. The juxtaposition was so cool.
I hadn't appreciated, I think, in previous episodes just how big the dragon was compared to the others. It wasn't until you saw it in that scene and you thought, "Wow, this is ridiculous! It's like a monster. It's like a mountain compared to the others." Simon, what did you think of the series overall?
Yeah, it was amazing. The only part I didn't like was the time skip where you introduce, because I actually loved the girl character when she was a lot younger and things like that. And then there was another time skip, I think, with the boys. and I have to say, they just height wise and age wise, they look very bit different to what they when they were younger.
Yeah.
And that to me just didn't really fit for the acting sort of concept. But other than that, the show and the storyline and the king is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Paddy, what's his
Constantine.
Yeah. I think I hear what you're saying, Sam. I mean the time jump I got over, but I know my parents who were watching it couldn't cope with that at all. It threw them all together. But yeah, some of the performances in this series have been absolutely amazing, and Paddy Constantine, he was phenomenal.
Yep.
Some of those scenes were just spine tingle. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
He's definitely like the Sean Bean of this.
Oh yeah.
Version of Game of Thrones. Like, you're never going to forget that character and that kind of arc.
But also, giving massive props to Doctor Who there. He was amazing in it. Absolutely amazing.
Such a good actor, that man.
Oh yeah.
So charming, you forget he murdered his wife.
Do you know what, James? You're right.
Just straight up murdered his wife.
You're right, because
crippled her and then bashed her brains in with a rock.
you can't help like him and think, but then he's done some bloody horrific things during the course of this series.
Oh yeah, sure. Go back to the first episode when he's chopping off bits and bobs.
Yeah.
It's just watch and just.
Yeah, but huge props to Matt Smith. He's done an amazing job with making such a vile character likable, and you're kind of rooting for him a lot of the time. And even on that last episode when he grabs his wife, you think, whoa, you're a bit of a swine, because doesn't he grab her by the neck at one scene? And
he starts choking her because he realizes that Paddy Constantine never told him the prophecy, so he never intended for him to be his heir, and that's kind of the revelation. Yeah. So he's angry about that, but then he wins us back by singing a little song to a big dragon. And we're like, oh yeah, we like this guy.
Superb, absolutely superb. I think it's it really has been an amazing series, and I think for me there was a lot of trepidation coming into it because I love Game of Thrones, really do enjoy it, even the last season. And you kind of think, when they go back and revisit things, you think, oh God, are they going to balls it up? But this has been brilliant. Chris is just jumping back in there, Simon, with a bit of advice for you. It's all about growing and learning along the way. I still have confidence issues in front of the camera, but once it's done, it's done. Chris, your videos are great, mate. So, but I hear what you're saying. But yeah, you're right.
Congratulations on hitting 100 subscribers.
Yeah, well done.
Absolutely flying. It feels like only a couple of months ago he's been going.
Yeah. Ben saying Game of Thrones is a masterclass in making you endure to literally the most horrendous people. Yeah, Ben, I agree, mate. Because even in, like you say, in Game of Thrones, there are some vile characters.
But, I like Jaime Lannister is my favorite in that show, and he pushes a kid out of a window. He's a bad person.
I mean, yeah. Okie dokie, guys. So next, what we got? Ben. Can't believe Ben's not on to talk about this. So
I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet. Like this, this feels so long ago.
So the last episode of this show that we did was where Daredevil had just been introduced.
Right.
So we had a couple more episodes to go. I think it's fair to say it's mixed views on this show. And then we had that last episode where we had, I'm just going to say it, one of my favorite bits of television of all time, that opening scene. Where they redid the Incredible Hulk. I just think that was just an absolute masterclass. And then we had the whole Kevin thing, and we had the break in the wall and coming out of the Disney Plus TV show and all the rest of it, which has really split people. I've heard people say they absolutely loved it. I've heard people say they absolutely hated it, and it was a kind of it was too far and too much for some people. So, Efren, I'm going to start with you. What did you think?
Gosh, I really wanted to really like this show, but I'm a big fan of the She-Hulk, even the comic series by the John Byrne run, the sensational She-Hulk. But I tried to enjoy this, but I just didn't, and I like the character more than I like the TV show, and I just thought it was too tongue-in-cheek. It wasn't serious enough. I don't think they took it serious enough. And hopefully, when they showed Scar, I went, what the hell, man?
Yeah. Me and Peter was talking about that in the week.
Yeah, man. Make him look like the comic book, man. Like a savage,
Yeah.
and I don't know, man.
I didn't even realize what it was when they put Scar on, because I mean I'm a bit of a fan of that particular run of Hulk, but yeah, that was disappointing. Hopefully that'll change.
I even don't like the way they're portraying the Hulk. He's too nice. I liked Hulk when he came out in the first Avengers movie. Like more of a beast type character. More savage. Now he's too nice.
Yeah, against the Hulkbuster. That's the best Hulk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the best Hulk we had, really, wasn't it? Yeah. Mm. Okay, what about yourself, James?
Y'all take this shit too seriously. No, listen. I don't have any attachment to the She-Hulk character at all, so I had very tempered expectations for this, and just kind of enjoyed it at face value. I thought it was a fun, quirky sitcom, and I didn't read too much more into it. Like, I didn't have super high expectations, so I'm not particularly disappointed about anything. Yeah, the twerking thing was weird, but it was 10 seconds of it. I love the finale. I thought it was jaw-dropping and hilarious, and I had expected we would get something like that, but I thought it would be from Deadpool. I didn't think this show was going to go that far this soon, and I love that they did. I thought the AI Kevin reveal was cool, and even the fact he has a little cap was hilarious. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. Now I do think I can see why people wouldn't like it, especially the last episode, because you spend 4, 5, 6 episodes setting up the Hulk King thing, and it's just a throwaway gag, I guess. But yeah, no, I thoroughly it's not my favorite thing out of this, but I had fun the whole way, and I don't have too many complaints. So yeah,
how dare
Simon?
I mean, some episodes I absolutely love, the one with Wong, and things like that. Then there's other episodes I don't like, and so yeah, it was a bit like Boba Fett for me. There's episodes you hate and there's episodes you love. That last episode I do love. I love how she breaks out because the way it was going, I was like, "What? It can't go this way. It can't go this way." And then it just flipped on me, and I was like, "Oh, actually, she's talking in third person and breaking out the wall." And yeah, it was cool, and it was cool concepts. And she obviously said about the X-Men and other things, which I thought was cool. Bringing these things, and Kevin Feige, I think he's really thought this one to sort of say backtrack about it. Backlash it's had. So to me, it's a love-hate show.
So I'm probably the same as you, Simon. I had real problems with the show in terms of the quality of the special effects. I struggled to get past that. I just didn't think it was funny for a lot of the time. And I wanted more of the lawyer kind of thing. I loved the episodes where she was in court having the legal shenanigans. I thought that was brilliant. Daredevil was nice to see, but that last episode completely changed it for me. I really, really enjoyed the last episode. I loved the opening montage. Like I've said, I thought that was brilliant. And I thought the twist with the Kevin thing was really cleverly done. And it's probably the first time, I'm going to get wrong for sexist jokes or whatever, but it was probably the first time I really properly laughed at the episode. That bit where they said something about Hulk smashes, and she said, and sometimes Hulk smashes Daredevil, and winked at the camera. I just thought it was great. It made us chuckle. So that kind of changed my view of the show a bit. And I've starred a comment here because I think Connie's exactly right. Sometimes a show is just a show, and that's okay. We're nerds and we're getting so invested in things, and it's got to be exactly as we want it in our heads and all the rest. Actually, sometimes I guess you've just got to switch your brain off and go along for the ride. And I guess maybe I was looking too much at the special effects and She-Hulk and get wound up by it, and I should have just switched my brain off a little bit more. But I think we are too critical, aren't we? I mean, Christ, look at this. We've got a show purely about shows. You know what I mean?
But we're comic fans. We've read the comics and we know the stories in those comics, and we just
If this was a Punisher show, I'd be furious. you know.
Yeah.
But I don't care that much about She-Hulk, so like I just enjoyed it.
And I think that's the thing. You know, we've talked in the past about me, you guys, Ben, and whatnot, about how if it's a character you're particularly wed to, it doesn't matter what they do, you're never really gonna be happy. And I'll go back to first time the Transformers movies came out, massive critical success, thousands, millions of people loved it. You know, you got Peter Cullen back to do the voice of Prime, and I can't stand it. And Transformers are my thing, you know, but I cannot get over the characterization of Prime in it. Now, if I went in there and switched my brain off and forgot all my emotional baggage with it, I probably would enjoy it more, but I can't do that.
Same thing with Uncharted for me. You know, you
Yeah.
enjoyed that as a fun adventure movie. I think it's a disgrace to the Uncharted name. So
An absolute disgrace. Yeah. But that's, again, James, that's a great point. You know, I went in with no expectation and thought it was a fun adventure romp. You know, you came out ready to cry. So
I did cry.
Okay, guys. Anything last to say about She? Are we wanting a season 2?
Yeah, you're not.
No.
I don't care if they do that.
I'll take more of it. I mean, if we're not sacrificing another thing, like, yeah, I am curious how she will work with other characters, like,
Yeah. She's just
or
gonna
how
go
she will
into-
fit with the tone of like an
With
Avengers
the movies
movie.
and stuff. Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm sorry. I'm curious to see how they're going to do the Daredevil show now. How serious they're going to take it. You know, if it's nothing like, I think they have to follow the lead of Netflix because it was such a good series. You know,
I
season
think
one
it-
was
yeah,
good.
it
I
will
think
be
that's the problem. I
darker.
think Disney's just very light-hearted, and if you look at Netflix when they did the shows, they were so dark, and I love those.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know, all those shows, Jessica Jones, all of them. I think obviously a lot of people didn't like the Iron Fist one, but other than that, all those Netflix shows I absolutely loved and binge watched them. So
Yeah. And I do go back to what you said earlier, Efren. And I've said this before. If I go to see a superhero movie, I want to be entertained, but I want to see superhero battles, and I want to see fights, and I want to see, you know, the end of Wakanda Forever, a good battle scene. The whole Hulk change now, the characterization is not doing it for us. I want to see Rampage and Hulk.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we didn't get a proper fight with Hulk during Endgame and whatnot, really,
Yeah.
Anyway, I can be content in the fact that in the first Avengers movie, I got my Hulk versus Thor fight, which I thought was amazing. Okay, guys, moving on. You guys, are you fans of Doctor Who?
No.
I've never seen one episode of Doctor Who.
Oh,
Like Peter, this is one of the rare things. Like I just actively dislike Doctor Who.
okay.
I watched a few, Peter, when obviously Matt Smith was doing it and things like that, but I've not watched it since he was in it. So
Wow,
So
I
you
thought
didn't-
I'd be the only one.
So you haven't seen the last episode, the last of Jodie's run?
No.
No. Okay. All I would say is, we'll skirt by because I think I might do a show about Doctor Who. I think at some point, Jodie Whittaker, who's been doing Doctor Who for a while now, I think has been done a disservice. I don't think her scripts have been very good. I think she's struggled all the way through, really. And I was really kind of despondent with Doctor Who. And then this last movie, The Power of the Doctor, and it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So please do go and check it out. We've got some Doctor Who fans. Sorry?
She's not had a
Couple of
very
years.
long run.
Yeah,
Is
no,
it
no,
a couple of years?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Yeah, okay.
So lots of comments in the chat about people and their thoughts on Doctor Who. No, Ben, no, I'm not going to try and pronounce that. I'll wait for another show, Ben, and you can do that since I've got nobody on the screen who likes Doctor
We
Who.
won't be invited to that show.
Yeah. If you haven't seen the episode, please do go and check it out. An amazing scene with the master dancing to Rara Rasputin. We'll get Ace back, who was always my sidekick when I first started watching Doctor Who. And this amazing regeneration at the end there, who was obviously David Tennant coming back, which was not, well, kind of hinted at, but not expected. So David Tennant is now the Doctor again. So really enjoyed it. Please do go and check it out. Jodie was an amazing actress to portray the Doctor, who was massively let down by a show. I absolutely agree with that 100%. It's fair to say this season, the last few seasons turned me away from Doctor Who. and it was really sad. But this last episode was amazing. Sea Devils was a really good send off. Couldn't agree more. Okie dokie. Right, guys. So I think I'll do a Doctor Who episode. Not with you people.
Oh darn!
Yeah. Just wanted to mention these two things. Anybody seeing the? I can't pronounce his name either. Someone, James.
Guillermo de Toro.
Oh, sorry, Guillermo.
Yeah,
Guillermo
that's
del
the fella.
Toro. Yes.
Yeah.
The Cabinet of Curiosity. Any of you guys?
I haven't watched it yet,
it's
but
really
I
good.
like the sound of it.
Really, really good.
I find it a little bit. Some episodes are great. Some episodes, not so much.
But
again,
each episode's its own, so
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
choose which episodes to go. I mean, the Rats one is amazing, I think. So
yeah, I enjoyed that one as well.
yeah.
So really worth checking out. That's on Netflix at the moment, guys. So please do go and see that. It's basically an anthology series of little horror kind of.
He
ghost
promotes
stories.
other directors, doesn't he? As well. That's
Yeah.
He's not like the main. It's like his name put to it, and he's like
Yeah.
directed by, and that's what I love about it. How he's promoting other directors.
Yeah, and it's a nice little setup. I like the idea of it. So yeah, well worth checking out. I've stuck this on because I've been off work today and I've literally watched this today. This is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. You've got to, if anyone's a Nicolas Cage fan, you've got to go and watch this. Any of you guys seen this film?
It's in my top 5 of the year.
I'm
love
been
that.
meaning to watch it on Amazon. but
It's
I haven't watched it yet.
absolutely hysterical. Yeah,
It is.
It's probably one of Nick Cage's best performances ever. Pedro
Okay.
Pascal is great in it too. It's just
Because I watched
fun.
Nicolas Cage another movie before, and I just did not like it. The Ghosts of something it was.
Right.
Ghosts.
He does. It's fair to say, and he mentions it in this movie, really, that Nicolas Cage will normally do whatever movie comes his way. So he's got a very kind of disjointed film resume. I think it's fair to say he does all kinds of weird and wonderful stuff, and this film kind of pokes fun at him in some ways, but it's just hilarious.
If you don't know, he plays himself.
Yeah.
And it's a drug cartel, like drug kingpin, hires him to show up for his birthday party because he's a huge Nick Cage fan. It's the two of them and a wacky adventure.
Yeah. They end up doing LSD and things like that, and I have to say, I proper laughed. It was just what I needed today, so well worth watching if you haven't seen that one already. Are you a Nick Cage fan, Efren? Have you seen much of Nick Cage's stuff?
Yeah, I liked him in Aircon. That was a really good movie. I liked him in
Con Air.
Con Air.
Aircon is a very different movie.
I mean, it might have been switched over in America, flipped, you know what I mean? But we called it Con Air. Yeah,
Con Air. And I liked him in the first Ghost Rider movie. You know,
So I like that movie too. I think.
Or should I say Rider Ghost?
Rider Ghost.
Rider
Ghost
Ghost,
was really good. I absolutely love the National Treasure movies.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He won an Academy Award also. You know, I forgot what movie. He won an Academy Award.
Leaving Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Leaving
Las Vegas. Yeah.
He's got some. I mean, he has got some amazing films behind him. And, there's a one called is it Matchstick Men? Have you seen that? Where he's like a con man. That's very good as well. Yeah, please do go and check out that Unbearable Weight.
He's just done a new one. I think that got an award. Was it the pig one or something?
Oh dear God, that was awful. That was bloody horrible.
You know,
well, that wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah, you're not your cup of tea. I think it's considered a great movie. Mandy is another one.
I mean, have you seen the film? Has anybody seen it? It's basically about a chef who's got a pig, and the pig gets kidnapped, and it's an hour and a half of them looking for the pig, just walking around, where's my pig? And then at the end, the pig's been killed, so his pig's dead. And that's the end.
Hey, spoilers!
I mean,
I just told you I hadn't seen it. Like, come on.
Yeah, not the best. Didn't
well, I watched it was Prisoners of Ghostland, that one, but that was a bit weird. It was
not seen that one.
No. You know, he changed his last name to Luke, because of Luke Cage. He took Luke Cage's name.
Yeah, because he's a coupler, isn't he? He's so he changed it to Nick Cage, and I think he's called one of his kids Kal-El.
Yeah.
Massive comic book collector as well. He's a huge comic fan.
Does he have like the highest graded Superman one or something like that?
There was a funny thing a while ago where his collection got stolen, wasn't it?
Yes.
I thought he got forced to sell it at one point when he got with.
I mean,
the
he's
T-Rex,
crackers.
isn't it? He bought a
He
whole
had
T-Rex.
the T-Rex
Yeah.
and he had to give it back, didn't he, or something?
Mm.
Yeah. And obviously he was going to play Superman for a while.
Yeah.
GP, never watched the Wicker Man remake. Completely agree, mate. And he actually takes the mick out of that.
No,
The bees. He takes the mick out of that at one scene in this film. Not the bees. Yeah. Okay, so James, coming to you then. So Barbarian, a movie we've both seen. I think Ephraim would like this one.
Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, I think I'm not going to say much at all about it because it's really one. The less you know, the better. But the basic setup is this woman books an Airbnb. She shows up to the house and there's a man already staying there. So it appears that the Airbnb's been double booked, and it sort of just escalates from there, and creepy kind of things start happening, and you don't quite know what's going on. But yeah, it's a movie that definitely zigs when you think it's going to zag. A lot of really great surprises in it. Justin Long is also in it, who gives I think one of his best performances. And it's got an amazing sense of wit. There's one scene involving a measuring tape that I was keeled over laughing at. But yeah, no, it's just really great, suspenseful, unique horror film, and yeah, I thoroughly recommend everybody go check this one out.
Why is it called The Barbarian though? That.
So that
just throws me off a bit.
It's set in a town called Barbary.
Ah, right, okay.
That's literally that is why it's it's. I think it's also supposed to make you think a certain thing will happen in it.
She goes to an Airbnb.
Yes.
Couldn't she just leave?
No, so there's a convention on in the town at the time. They explained it. Okay. It's not that.
I mean, to be fair, Efren, if she just left, it would have been quite a short film.
Yeah,
Hi, bye. Oh, you double.
Yeah. Oh, don't like the look of this. Nah. Yeah.
She for various reasons has to stay in the house. And,
It's well worth checking out. It is a very good movie, and I think James is right. I went into this expecting one thing and got something totally different. So really, if people like creepy kind of scary stories and things like that, it's well worth going to watch. It's good fun. Ben, quite right. A lot of films will be over very quickly if you just let it. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to put Dharma up there as well because I've finally caught the end of that. Have any of you guys watched that series on Netflix?
Nope.
Simon, you've watched it, yeah?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Oh, it's such a great performance, wasn't it, by him? And there's some definitely eerie scenes in there, and I just couldn't believe. The only thing that we spoke about, we don't like how it is portraying Dharma, really. That we already had the Dharma tapes and the documentary. Was this really needed? He did a great performance, and I did like some scenes in it, like that I thought, where is he went and got roadkill with his dad and things like that, and I'm thinking, well, that actually makes sense why he was, turned out the way he was, and things like that, the way his upbringing was. But it's just the way, it's a good portrayal. But should we be doing these type of movies?
Yeah,
because we've done it on other. I think there's another one coming up soon, and portraying someone, and it's like, is it needed? That was it. The Good Nurse was out, wasn't it? The Good Nurse one. And was that needed and portrayed? Because we already had a documentary on it that came out after it, actually, after the film. And I think the film's supposed to be really good, actually. But are we? Yeah, The Good Nurse. It's supposed to be. It's I think it was done. I don't know where it was done, but it was about a nurse who got away killing loads of people, basically, and they covered it up. So.
Yeah, so I thought this was a really, really horrible program to watch, but the performances were great, and I couldn't take my eyes off it. And I think for me, it was. I completely agree, Simon. It's horrible to promote these kind of individuals and things like that, but also it's good to learn from. So what I took from it was that the police service, the prison service, the politicians had all been absolutely horrific in this and ballsed it up from start to finish. But yeah, it's a hard watch, but it is an interesting watch. I would recommend people go and see it. Connie's just saying there, don't really get the fascination with serial killers, to be honest. The documentaries there. Why do we need to fictionalize shows as well? Yeah, agree, Connie, agree. She was also saying Evan Peters is so talented. Absolutely. I'd love to see him back in movies like Weird Science. Was Evan Peters in Weird Science?
No, he was too young. He wasn't even born. I think he was even born when those movies came out.
I think they mean movies like Weird Science.
Weird Science.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Weird Science, that's going back to interesting thoughts of my childhood watching that movie. That was a bit of an interesting film. Yeah. You guys seen Weird Science?
Oh, hell
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I can remember. I did remember it. Yeah, yeah.
God, I haven't seen it
So-
for years.
It was a
Problematic
kid.
in today's society, I think.
Yeah.
for various
Um,
reasons.
she misses him playing happier characters. Yeah, quite right. American Horror Story is another classic. I absolutely love that. Suppose he's happy enough in X-Men. Very true. Okay, ladies and gents. So that's our whack. That's all the stuff we had to talk about tonight. Before we call it a night, guys, have I missed anything? Is there any shows you want to quickly touch on, Efren?
There was an announcement today that Bob Iger is going back to head of Disney.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't say there's much upset about that, is there?
Yeah.
I think people are quite pleased to hear that. So I mean,
Curious what's gone wrong that happened now, you know?
I mean, have they announced anything, or is it just based on the fact that there's a lot of negativity, perhaps, of some of his work?
Yeah, I think they mentioned all the latest whatever phases is with Marvels. It's not as hyped as like the first phases, But how's like I don't think it's going to be anybody's going to be able to top the first phases of the Marvel universe. It's just hard. You think the uniqueness of it all.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, Efren. I mean, to be honest, he was never going to win that battle, was he? You can't catch that lightning again. And yeah, interesting stuff. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. Just to remind people, next Monday we're going to be doing Godzilla What If? So please do join me for that. Can I just thank my panel, Efren, Simon, James. Always fun spend time with you guys. Ben and Jason, do hope you're feeling better soon and can join me for the next shows. Can I also just thank everybody in the chat, in the comments? It's been buzzing tonight. Lots of comments, lots of people involved. So thank you very much, everybody. Okay, and with that, we'll say good night, everybody. So, good night, guys.
Night.